You are listening to Minor Metrics Complete. I'm your host, Chris Mellon. This show was powered by a script written by Locke Fox and Eve Prosper. This content is aimed at players participating in the mining profession and is provided nightly to give you, dear listener, the information you need to sell your product at the right price. If you'd like to discuss the markets with me in real time, join the show's Discord server via the link in the description below. Starting with TRITANIUM on the yearly graph, we can see the capital mining crash and nerf recovery. Zooming in, the price has dropped down to 4.4. This drop really only took a week, and it's definitely trending movement. I would hold TRITANIUM until our price breaks 4.6 again. Pyrite is showing the capital mining crash, and we've returned to a stall. Zooming in, however, we can see the same price drop down to 5.5. In the long run, I think this price has further to rise. I would wait for a higher price. Moving on to MEXALLON, we can see the amazing summit that we're on. Zooming in, however, we can see we've stalled out around 77. We've actually had a jump in volatility today, which is great for sellers. I think this is the highest MEXALLON will go, so I'd sell now and cut your losses. With ISOGEN, we're seeing the exact same graph as Pyrite, and it's for all the same reasons. Zooming in, we can see our prices dump down to 48. Holding out for a better price is necessary to secure a fair trading price. Moving through to NOCXIUM, we see a similar pattern to TRITANIUM earlier, but with a price hike up to a much better relative price point. Zooming in, we can see our prices leveled at around 375. This is still the peak price range for this market, and I believe selling before another drop is a wise choice. Zydrian's yearly graph has large movements in the early year, followed by a recent plummet in price. Zooming in, we can see the rapid decline we've experienced and the bounce back from that movement. Our price seems to be stalled around 1,000. I recommend waiting for a price hike. Next is MEGACYTE. Much like Zydrian, MEGACYTE has had large movements in the early year, but is only just now experiencing its drop. If Zydrian is any indication, this price has further to fall. The bottom fell out of this market 5 days ago, but we've had a semi-stabilizing rebound. This is a great chance to get out before the price drops further. For the last of our minerals, MORPHITE's yearly graph looks incredibly stable, but zooming in we can see we've been experiencing a long fall in price with a recent recovery. We're trading at 9,500, which is a mediocre price. I would recommend holding your MORPHITE and waiting for a better sell signal. Now we'll move on to ice products. First up, we have heavy water with a massive decline after the Warcall nerf and a leveling off. Zooming in, we can see just how stable this period is. We're seeing a slow fall to 250 at the moment. Personally, I'd recommend liquidating unless you're holding out for a new use for heavy water. Next is liquid ozone, looking incredibly stable, much like our MORPHITE graph, and zooming in we can see how sideways our graph really is. We're trading at a 110 price point. If I were looking to sell, I'd probably wait for a momentary tick in volatility like we had a month and a half ago. If you don't want to wait, however, you're not giving up much with this kind of price history. Strontium clathrates are in a slow decline, and zooming in we can see that this decline has been off and on for a while now. This drop will continue, but will bounce back if a war of some kind starts. If you need liquid ISK quickly, selling with our current volatility is wise, but if you can hold on to stock, I'd wait to supply the next big engagement. Moving through to our isotopes, we have the HELIUM isotopes with a slow decline in price recently. Zooming in, we can see that our price has hit 640. If you have helium isotopes, you need to hold on to them and wait for the overcorrection from the unstable nature of this market. The hydrogen isotope price is much more level, but zooming in, we can see our price is still at 625. This price has a lot to rise due to the rainbow fuel changes with citadels, and you should hold on to your hydrogen until the price does rise. Nitrogen isotopes look like they're on the peak of a spike, and zooming in we can see they're being traded at 800, a far overvalued price. I recommend selling your nitrogen isotopes now to supply this peak and protect yourself from the drop in progress. Oxygen isotopes look excellent, but the same volatility is hitting the market. Zooming in we can see that oxygen isotopes are being traded at 795. This market is going to correct. I would cash out before we hit the 650 range. This has been Chris Mellon for Minor Metrics. That'll do it for the show. Thank you for tuning in, and be sure to check tomorrow for another episode.